Thank you, Aisha, for a good word. His Excellency, Mr. Kailash Payak, President of the Republic of Mauritius, Mr. Gugulai, First Deputy Governor, Mr. Soumali, Second Deputy Governor, Mrs. Timur, Chief Executive, Mauritius Bankers Association, Mr. Philippe Doe, Chairman, Barclays Bank Mauritius Limited, board members of Barclays Bank Mauritius Limited, jury members, members of the media, partners, Barclays staff, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, allow me to thank you all for your presence tonight. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, this award is a great achievement in enabling the Barclays team in Mauritius to concretely put the interest of society, which is one of the bank's main stakeholders, at the top of our priority list. Our Mauritian society is gradually evolving from an elite-driven mind to a more egalitarian society. I'm sure you will agree all with me that sustainability brings value into business in today's competitive environment. Because long-term corporate success and sustainability lies in aligning society's interests with a competitive business edge. The Barclays Colours of the Life Award is about recognizing NGOs that challenged and went beyond the norm and made their project a compelling strategy for socio-economic intervention. We at Barclays, we don't only sing, as you've seen just before. We don't only count money, as you might imagine we do in banks, but we have a clear philosophy of what we call citizenship. For us, citizenship means taking into account the needs of all stakeholders and taking decisions which in the long term are positive for our customers and clients, but also for our shareholders, colleagues, and the communities in which we operate. This is a fundamental part of us becoming the go-to bank and a means that we can facilitate for greater and more inclusive prosperity for the current and future generation. We recognize that we have a long way to go in delivering our aspiration, but we'll continue to do the work to build our vision. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for the attention and the time and the creativity put into making the Barclays Colours of Life Award a real success. It is this kind of commitment that we contribute in enriching a community which ultimately gives this country its competitive edge. Via the Barclays Colours of Life Award, we prioritized education, socio-economic development, environment, fight against social ill, and wellness. The project that was shortlisted for the semi-finals are very interesting ones, which were chosen based on a list of set criteria and according to a process which included a presentation to the jury members and site visits. Ladies and gentlemen, the idea of CSR is not new. Within Barclays, commitment to society has always been part and parcel of our lives. But what we felt was even more important was to celebrate the hard work and effort carried out by NGOs engaging the community. Tonight, our aim is therefore to honor the unsung heroes who kept doing great work despite huge challenges presented and against all odds. I'd like to say a big thank you to all NGOs that continuously contribute to providing a strong foothold to the needy ones and to enable them to climb out of poverty. We should also not forget those NGOs that work hard to sensitize society on the issues such as social ills and environment. Sometimes these things are perceived as trivial, but are critical to our survival. And we believe that to have an inclusive society and for business to prosper and for the country to move forward, it's important that we make sure that the needy ones are taken care of. To put a smile on a child's face, to give hope to people who've gone through terrible combat and hardship, and to save endangered species, to combat drugs and domestic violence, are just a few examples of the immense work of NGOs. Involvement takes a lot of commitment and a lot of courage. Ladies and gentlemen, to our judges, Sir Victor Glover, the chairperson, Eileen Wong, Pierre Dina, Pamela Bapudandu, and Jacques Jumet, I say a huge thank you. You have made it possible for us to fully engage in recognizing the selfless work of NGOs. I understand it has been really tough for judges to pick the category winners as well as the overall winner, because all submissions were interesting and made difference to the lives of people they touched. There were NGOs with great CSR ideas. Every project is important, and every project will collectively contribute to develop our country further. The quality of our people will be that finally changes the economic and social landscape of this country, and will lead us towards becoming truly a nation developed and economically and socially sustained. Today, winners of Barclays Love Award will walk away with a coveted award that they are the first among equals. So congratulations to them. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Daji, for your very inspiring speech. Distinguished guests, we are indeed honored to have amongst us the President of the Republic of Mauritius. Despite a very hectic schedule, he made it a point to be amongst us tonight, and we thank him so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the Republic of Mauritius, Mr. Kailash Koria.
Thank you. The Chairman of the Barclays Bank, the Governor, the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Mr. Ravin Daji, Managing Director, Barclays Bank Mauritius Limited, members of the jury, representatives of NGOs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to you all. I must apologize to you for my lateness, because when I was first invited, I told Mr. Daji that I would not be able to come because I had already taken a commitment in the south of the country. But then I said no, because it is a very important event, I'll make it a point to come. So I came about by 15 minutes late. I'm sorry for that. Let me thank Mr. Ravin Daji for having invited me to grace this first Barclays Colour of Life Award ceremony. I understand the main objective of this award is to recognize the selfless work of NGOs in Mauritius and Rodrigues, who have made an immense contribution to the improvement of the quality of life of our vulnerable citizens. I congratulate the Barclays Bank, in particular its Managing Director, for pioneering such an excellent and laudable initiative, which I am sure will go a long way to motivate our young people to engage in voluntary social work and to dedicate themselves fully to community service. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had the opportunity in my previous interventions to express my deepest respect, indeed my admiration, for those who volunteer and dedicate their time for a noble cause. That is because I have always believed in the nobility of volunteering. In fact, I have the highest trust and confidence in the capacity of voluntary social organizations to transform through their good work the lives of our citizens who are most deserving. The work of voluntary social organizations can never be measured in terms of size, but more importantly, by the depth of their commitment to make a difference in the lives of others. It was Mahatma Gandhi who said, and I quote, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." And this is precisely what the NGOs are for. To do so, they however need the strength, and strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will and spirit. I am glad that most of our NGOs in Mauritius are imbued with the values and principles of selfless and relentless service to society. Today, there is no denying that NGOs are increasingly proving to be a necessity in our country. NGOs, in my view, provide a platform for serving society by addressing a wide spectrum of social needs, ranging from poverty alleviation, promotion of human rights, protection against the effects of climate change, education, training and capacity building, just to mention a few. They have also extended their scope of activities to cover such issues as parenting, life skills, civic values, because good parenting, together with a quality education, are central towards building a prosperous, peaceful and stable society. That is why government has recognized the crucial role of NGOs that NGOs are playing today in the process of socio-economic development and growth in our country. NGOs often enjoy a high degree of public confidence and trust, which make them a powerful agent for addressing the concerns of society at large. As we all know, the public is increasingly looking upon to NGOs to attend to their daily difficulties. In so doing, NGOs are striving to contribute towards the establishment of the edifice of an inclusive and sustainable society. It therefore behoves the NGOs and their leadership to continuously work with the community and all the stakeholders in the fulfillment of their objectives and mission. Our NGOs are credible and viable advocates of government and business. Therefore, the great expectation of the public is that the resources that are put at their disposal are utilized effectively and judiciously. In this regard, it is imperative that NGOs are cautious about their operation and running costs, because resources meant for the poor should be funneled to the poor. The World Association of NGOs suggests that ideally more than 80% of NGO budget should be spent on programs and only some 20% on overhead and administrative expenses. I'm aware that the CSR companies that are working closely with NGOs in Mauritius have taken on board this guideline from the World Association of NGOs. Ladies and gentlemen, volunteerism should be anchored in our heart. It is an obligation, a responsibility toward those who are less fortunate through no fault of theirs. Voluntary work has to be done without attachment and with excellence and perfection. It is only through the eyes of others that we see ourselves. It is through the work of our own that we find the difference in others. The courage and commitment of volunteers should therefore be an inspiration to us all, because it lies at the heart of humanitarianism. It is more about caring and sharing and partaking. NGOs play a crucial role in our society to help those who really need our support. We need therefore to promote volunteerism as a valuable activity deeply rooted in our spirit. But at the same time, we should be cautious about an over-proliferation of NGOs. With the introduction of the CSR funding, we have witnessed a significant increase in the number of NGOs lately, very often leading to a duplication of activities. Such a situation should be avoided at all costs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a turbulent and strange world. The international economic scenario is changing drastically, putting increasing pressure on national governments to revamp their programs and policies. International funding is also becoming scarce gradually. Government funds, on the other hand, have to be channeled for competing national priorities. There are no ready-made answers to the multifarious societal problems that are becoming more diverse and complex. We are not living in easy times. Against this background, there is an imperative need for our organizations to reinvent, to readapt themselves to face the new challenges. As our world becomes more complex and interdependent, change and transformation become increasingly critical because the future becomes less like the past. This realization has brought to the force an entirely new way of looking at the future in our societies, in our personal lives, and even in our corporations. There is a clarion call to rethink the future. And the fact is that the future will not be a continuation of the past. Let us remind ourselves that it will not be enough to race into the future with simply a new organizational vehicle. We will also need a clear vision about where we want to go, a vision about where we want to be tomorrow, about which direction to take in order to get there successfully. Today, many organizations, and this obviously applies to the NGOs too, pursue objectives as if they were an end, a destination in themselves. Organizations of this kind are finally all revealed up with nowhere to go. Therefore, re-engineering, benchmarking, continuous improvement, total quality management, all these principles should become the hallmark of today's organizations. Because in this 21st century, the winners will be those who stay ahead of the curve, constantly redefining strategies, goals, and objectives, and challenging the status quo. As someone has put it, the winners will be those who invent the world, not those who respond to it. So as NGOs, we'll have to perforce revamp yourselves in order to remain germane in this challenging world, especially in the objective of service delivery to the needy people of our country. With these words, I wish to thank Barclays Bank again for having given me this opportunity to share with you tonight some of my feelings. By the same token, I would like to congratulate the winners of this first edition of Barclays Colours of Life Award for their dedication and commitment to the cause of our vulnerable people. In conclusion, allow me to quote what James Allen, the famous literary mystery man, has said in his book, As a Man Thinketh, and that should inspire us in our future action. I quote, "He who lives constantly in the conception of noble and lofty thoughts, who dwells upon all that is pure and unselfish, will, as surely as the sun reaches its zenith, and the moon its full, become wise and noble in character, and rise into its position of influence and blessedness." Unquote. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this great speech. I noted one of the quotes that you said from Mahatma Gandhi. I happen to love quotes as well. And one of what Mahatma Gandhi said was, "Be the change you want to see." So I think many of the great NGOs out there do just that. Thank you very much. Your speech also augurs well the next performance. She's a very young lady, a very special lady. I have happened to be of the privilege who listened to her before. She's only 13, but what a talent. She is blessed with one-of-a-kind voice. Jane Constance took her life in her hands long ago. She recently succeeded with flying colours at the Royal School of Music Awards, awards is just top of my mind today. She is the first and only blind Mauritian to have participated in an exam of the Royal School of Music. Tonight she will give us a hint of what she feels is when there's a will, there's a way. Please put your hands together for Jane Constance, who will be performing a song by Bette Midler, From a Distance. Yes, you can. I think you deserve that round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, such talent is rare. Thank you, Jane. You will go places for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, serious things start to unfold now. We shall now proceed to the award for the category Education and Training. I shall just give you a very brief story about, not a story, but some details of the nominees. The first nominee is Trevor Huddlestone Association for the Disabled. We have the Southern Handicap Association and La Maison Familiale Rurale du Nord. So these are the three nominees. Regarding the Trevor Huddlestone Association for the Disabled, they have presented the Gonzague Pierre-Louis Special Learning Center project, which has been financed through the Trevor Huddlestone Association for the Disabled. Now, this project started in 1994. Over the past 20 years, about 250 children have attended the GPL Center, and most of them are now contributing members of the general society, earning a living and assisting their families. They hope that in the future they will be able to educate any children on the island of Rodrigues. So as you can see, this is an NGO from Rodrigues. Southern Handicap has been established in the island for 28 years now and really work hard on the front of education for handicapped children. And the NGO aims to equip the special need learners so that they develop into responsible citizens and facilitate their integration in the society. La Maison Familiale Rurale du Nord is now is at its 10th year now. Its purpose is to give a chance to those left out of the educational system, and unfortunately we do have a few of these. La Maison Familiale Rurale du Nord caters for 60 young people aged from 14 to 18 years old. They are proud to have trained over 1,000 young adults who are now fully integrated socially and economically. So every time we have those nominees, we will have a little video that will show you a few pictures of these NGOs. Let's watch this.